Hello, my name is Koray Tuberkübür and I am the owner and founder of Holistic SEO and Digital. In this video, I will explain you what keyword difficulty is and why actually we should stop using this concept and why we should actually replace it with the quality thresholds. So before publishing my SEO course or semantic SEO course, I will publish two different SEO case studies. And one of them will actually explain this website, but only this one, and it will focus on two concepts. One is quality thresholds, the other one is predictive ranking. And the second one will be dedicated to all of the SEO consultants that are not alive and with us at the moment. And there actually I will demonstrate another website, and this website belongs to someone, two people who came to this room from United States, and they have taken training from me for 1 week. We have created some certain types of semantic content network design, topical map, and also we decided all of the context vectors, hierarchies, connections, and structures. And then they have started to implement it, and the results are really, really good, and it continues to rise. So after these two launches, I will start to launch the semantic SEO course gradually. And if you want to know when it will come, go to my Twitter account and you will see a link to here. I will put it into the description and to the comment area. Just subscribe from here and you will actually get more things from there. And with that said, let me explain the keyword difficulty and let me give some background about this SEO case study, and then we will be able to move on to the other areas. Just as a note, I have written 13 different SEO case studies that I didn't publish yet, and there are more than 20 successful websites there. Some of them are even longer than 140 pages, and some of them are like around 10,000 words, but all of them are actually like a small or big book for just search engine optimization. Most of the information are unique and they come from the Google searches, researches, patterns, engineers, announcements, and history of search engines, and at the same time information retrieval systems. And all these theories are being united with the practical samples, and there are of course many videos and other things. Okay, so this project, it belongs to an e-commerce website, and yes, with an e-commerce website and with just 27 articles, we are taking traffic from Healthline, WebMD, Mayoclinic, or Medical News Today. And with that said, the owner of the company didn't want me to open or reveal the website name, but in the future I might do it, because even once I didn't experience a situation that actually one of my SEO case that the websites have been beaten or outranked by another person or project by just checking what we have done. It didn't happen. I wish it could, so that we can also improve other things as well. And the owner of the company, he or she needed investment, and they told me that actually they need to increase their traffic in a sudden way, and they don't have that much budget, so that they can take investment and continue to increase more capital, and they continue to increase the production. So I told them that we can do it small amount of articles. With this small budget we can do it, and we have used maybe a top 6 different authors, and a couple of them had even PhD. So with just 27 articles, we have gained this amount of queries in a really quick way, and this is the increase from here. You can also check it from Ahrefs as well. The actual numbers are actually very much higher than this, I can tell that. And when I publish the real version of this case study, you will actually see one more website there, and when you see it, actually you will understand why I have called it as quality threshold, and you will actually see what are the relative quality threshold difference is, or what are the cornerstone sources are, and you will also understand the predictive ranking in a better way. So with that said, I have actually announced this video in this tweet. I said that just here, and this is the article, and after probably 1 week later, or maybe next week even, I will publish this article too. And when you check this article, the results are also here too. There is naked information here. As you see, the web page count is not that high, and more than maybe even 70% of these web pages are just products and sale commercial pages. So yes, even with this is a situation that actually we are doing this with an exact e-commerce website, and even the percentages don't match. And there are some other websites here too with the same methodologies. All these websites are new, by the way. This is a little contradictory, but with the core algorithm update, it comes back. This also explains what a quality threshold is, because you exceed it, you don't continue, then you drop, and then you come back. So with that said, these websites, they will also have a place too, but I can tell that these are just the initial ranking results. There are even more of that. And it continues like that. Here, for example, someone, a good person I know from Twitter, told that actually this should be a non-competitive niche. Then he incited me to create this video. Actually, this is a highly competitive niche, and I wanted to show that you don't need to process everything. You don't need to open hundreds of different types of web pages, or you don't need to actually write everything just for the sake of writing these things. And with that said, let's dive into some conceptual explanations. Then we can end the video with some extras. You know that my articles and videos are already long, but if you want to learn SEO from a different cultural perspective, I believe you will need this. Or I can also write great content and move on. But we will need to explain these things in a technical way. So what is quality threshold? With basic words, quality threshold is the borderline between supplemental index and main index. When I say actually the supplemental index, it is already being announced by Metcalfe once by saying that actually they are retiring the supplemental index, because according to the Google on that time, even the websites from the supplemental index, they were ranking or outranking, or they should have outrank the website from main index. So what are these two? In the old times, before 2009, despite I am a new generation SEO, I read many things, and in the old times, Google actually had two different types of indexes. One of them was supplemental index, and supplemental index didn't get any kinds of update that frequently. But then Google actually realized that they actually should have moved some of the websites in the supplemental index to the main index directly. And also they realized that users actually would like to see supplemental search results, sometimes even more for some queries. So they have united both of them, but it doesn't mean that actually they have left using a kinds of main index and also an extra sources. So this topic is also a little about source shadowing, and at the same time it is a little about link inversion, but I won't use these concepts that much. But the link inversion means that if you are a representative source, if you want to understand here, watch this video, Topical Authority being a representative source with expertise for better rankings. And here, for example, this is actually the source that has been shadowed, and this is the, I guess, source that actually shadows the other one. So these two websites are already in my SEO case study, and they are taking millions of clicks from 0 to the millions. And the second one actually follows the semantic content network of the first one. If you want to understand what are these semantic content networks, please check this article and this SEO case study as well. I can put it into the description area. You can also check it from there as well. And if you watch this video, you will understand the ranking systems of Google a little better. And actually, I also have a really detailed article to explain how does Google rank and what are the possible methodologies. This is already a book, and there are many explanations here too. I would really suggest you to check this. If you don't check these things, understanding my sentences will be harder. So let's continue. So the quality threshold is a borderline between supplemental index and main index, and being indexed and being served are not same thing. Indexation and serving are two different things, and since serving can be done only by the search engine, SEOs don't focus on there that much. But if you want to understand the search engine, you will need to focus on there too. And from point of view of the serving, it means that just because search engine indexes your document, it doesn't mean that actually they will serve it. So basically, when we see a result from the Google search results or any kinds of snippet from the SERP, we assume that it is indexed. Actually, it is indexed and it is served. So sometimes you might see that actually Google crawls one of your pages, but they don't serve it. But actually, it doesn't mean that they didn't index it. So these things are actually different from each other. we should understand that as well. And quality threshold comes from the bottommost quality source and at the top quality source. Between that, if you are between these two cornerstones, it means that actually you will start to outrank others and you will start to be representative of others. And that's why actually, since you are the representative of others, it means that actually your authority or their quality will be propagated on your website, and your authority will also reflect their possible quality too. In predictive ranking, search engine always tries to understand where your website or web page should be ranked. That's why the rankings are always changing, because there is always a continuous testing there. And it's not possible to keep it fixed too, because with every crawl queue or with every crawl seconds, actually all the scores are changing again and again, and websites are not static as well. So that's why the search engine always tries to have a confidence while ranking you at some point, and you will need to calculate the quality thresholds while try to create your documents. So here I will explain you why the quality threshold concept is better than keyword difficulty. First of all, keyword, the word or the term keyword, it doesn't belong to SEO. It belongs to the journalism. And it is actually not even a keyword in SEO, it is query. So basically, it even should be query difficulty. It is a concept like DR, DA, toxic links. So these are actually coming from the SEO tools. But it means that you shouldn't actually accept these concepts as they are. You can actually make them better to be able to think in a more clear way. And quality threshold, when you have a quality threshold understanding, I put relevance into a different area. Being relevant and being quality are different things. So when you have a quality threshold in your mind, you can find some quality signals and you can try to exceed the threshold. And it won't be good enough to just exceed it. You will need to exceed it further and with other supporting web pages as well. And in this context, to be able to exceed a quality threshold, do you really need a big topical map? No, you don't need a really big topical map, to be honest. Yes, topical coverage increases topical authority, but at the same time, I didn't put one another website here. I could show it here too, but I won't for this time. As you know, I don't plan my videos that well. But when I publish the real version of this or long version of this SEO case study, you will see some other multiple websites with the names, and then you will see some increases like this with 20 articles even. And then you will see that even if you publish like 80 different articles, even if we publish 80 different articles, still the increase wasn't like the before, because we didn't continue to publish again more quality web pages. So the propagated quality understanding from the initial launch, it didn't continue. That's why actually the second non-quality batch, even if it is indexed just because search engine feels confidence because of the initial quality increase, even if it actually they are indexed, after a point the indexation started. So imagine that you are gaining 40,000 queries with just 20 articles, and then with 80 articles you just gain 5,000 queries. It is a big difference, but it happened because on that project we had some management issues and budget issues, and they assumed that actually they can compensate the project, but they couldn't. And at the same time, they assumed that the rankings will continue like that too. It happened in this project too, to be honest, because businessmen, they don't approach SEO like it is an art. So you see that it is flat here, right? There is a flat area here, because I told client that you will need to continue to publish more and more with this quality. But once the targets are being hit and once the investments started to come, it started to change as well. They didn't prioritize it anymore because the results were there. But I can tell that this stability or staticness is not good, and after a point this increase might actually start to reverse again, because search engine is in an expectation. If you want to be ranked over Healthline, you will need to actually continue to increase your quality all the time. So what is relative quality threshold or relative quality difference? So relative quality threshold is it represents a dynamic quality threshold. In other words, according to the first ranked batch or the first ranked sources and web pages, the quality threshold will change from time to time. But you will need to exceed it in a really strong way, so that actually even the bottom quality threshold website, it should have to follow you. And at the same time, the one more thing there is actually the relative quality difference represents the quality level here and quality level here. As you see, there is a big difference in quality between here, from here to here. But if you will publish these things slowly, the relative difference will be really slow. So in SEO A/B tests, usually SEOs choose like 5 URLs from a website, like maybe 2 million URLs. Google wouldn't even realize, even if they crawl 5 URLs, they won't realize that difference, and they won't bother themselves to change the rankings just for 5. You need to change a big portion of the website. So I was lucky because this website has really low number of URLs. It means that even a big number URL, big number of new publications will change entire identity of the website. So I believe this is an important information, and in the SEO course you will actually enjoy this type of strategic concepts even further. So basically you don't need a big topical map, and after I publish my SEO case studies, I see many SEOs that tell you need to cover everything from end to end. It will be better, but it's not an obligation. Even with the small topical maps, by leaving some other things to do other areas, still you can actually beat Healthline others. And we have actually more than 9,000 queries, mutual queries with Healthline, WebMD, Mayoclinic, and the Medical News Today, and still we actually suppress them in 2,000 of them, and in other 7,000 we suppress at least one of these sources. So in other words, even if you don't process everything, if your individual web pages, if they are able to support each other and if they actually create trust, expertise, yeah, you will be being ranked by the Google. And originality of the content. Is it necessary? Yes, originality of the content, it is necessary. And when I say originality of the content, I don't mean just use original or not duplicate sentences. You can tell the same thing in maybe 5 million different word sequences, but it doesn't make the content not duplicate or original. When I say originality of the content, I mean create new context terms, create new engrams, create new suggestions or new declarations, and unite all of this information and organize it in a better way than your competitors. And while doing that, bring many different types of sources together in a way that your competitors even didn't do before. And even if every section of the content is not original, still it will be better than many sources that determine the quality thresholds. So still it will be better. One more thing is, if you see many search results, it means that actually the quality threshold will be higher because search engine will have many different candidates. So because of that, actually sometimes you will need to also focus on the bottom area of the SERP. I mean like 8 pages or 9 pages, because you can see some important sections or relevant signals from there too, to actually bring these small contexts to the first results. Search engine sees it as an opportunity to actually give more information from a single SERP. It is called information foraging, another topic. So n-gram clusters. I have used n-gram clusters here too, because there are always 2 different ranking algorithms. If you check how does Google rank, you will see it. Qualitative ranking algorithms and also quantitative ranking algorithms. The qualitative ones, they focus on numbers and they will try to understand actually, or quantitative ones too. They will try, they are for actual quick filtration. They are not able to check every document, every sentence, process and evaluate. It is too costly, and that's why they will need actually some quick filtrations. And if you are able to create unique n-grams, and if you are able to do it while giving information, and if every sentence actually align with the factuality, if there is no gibberish there, if every sentence is necessary to convey that meaning, it means that actually n-gram clusters are being used in a proper natural way, in an information giving way. And we had more n-grams and more unique n-grams too. So topical entries, a topical entry represents the topic of the article, and we had more topical entries to consolidate the context even further. And at the same time, the topical, not topical, but let's say answer terms, we had even more answer terms, and also we had better definitions also for the answer terms as well. And unique licensed images. I have used unique licensed images in a branded way, and I have created all these things because when I say originality of the content, I just don't mean the text. If your article is unique but your images are duplicate, it's not that trustworthy for me anymore. So I always try to use unique images, always. And do the hard thing first. In holistic SEO, I believe there are 3 things. Let's say structured mindset and strict rules or discipline, and at the same time doing the hard thing first. Because if you are able to do the hard thing first, you can trust your client even further. It means that the client really wants to rank there. And if you do the hard thing first, it will be a better quality signal, because Google has to focus on teeny tiny details to be able to differentiate 180 trillion web pages from each other for sorting, or let's say ranking. And to be able to focus on these teeny tiny details, you need to be obsessed with, again, the hard things to be fixed. So if you're able to fix hard things even from the beginning, it means that actually your initial ranking scores will be higher. If your initial quality signals are better, the rest of the days or rest of the year will be also better too, because your initial scores will always continue to be used for further iterations or calculations. And when it comes to the optimization of the sentence structures, I did actually three things. I have given more information per sentence, but at the same time, I have always used one declaration for one entity and attribute. I destroyed the possibility and I increased the certainty. And I have actually created high level of EAT with these documents, because I can tell that I have used real experts for these. Experts that even AI doesn't know these things exist. And if you're able to create information gap, the search engine actually will realize that your document is better than your competitors. Maybe in the future I can explain what corroboration of web answers are, but you will actually see that your search engine can change opinion, change their facts. Knowledge base or knowledge graph is not static. Values always changes there. And with that said, if you're able to be a source for their own knowledge base, it means that actually Google will believe you, not your competitor. If you tell that X is Y for Google too. And if a competitor says X is Z, it's the wrong answer and it won't be ranked. And rankability. I will focus on the concept of rankability very much later, because rankability, it is connected to the SERP, search engine result page diversification, and I see that in May core algorithm update Google does it too. They try to diversify things a little further, and there is something called ranking state. A website, you can see a website loses its traffic gradually, and if they lose the traffic gradually but consistency, it means that actually Google is not that sure about the last decision that they give, and they actually start to decrease the average position or rankability of the website gradually and consistently, and the indexation will continue too. So the website is actually in a negative ranking state, and to be able to reverse it, actually you will even need to do really big things so that search engine can start a re-evaluation for you. And we have changed the rankability state of the website. As you see here, actually it was losing traffic again here too, and you can tell that the client was stressed during that time, since it is a matter of situation for taking an investment. And educating the machine learning systems for yourself. So there is something called algorithmic hierarchy in Google. In the algorithmic hierarchy, an input from an algorithm is output for another, or the reverse, or the opposite of it. So basically, if some of the algorithms are able to put you together with Healthline, and in the query log sessions, if you're able to create better clickability, better click satisfaction, and higher positive sentiments for the search sessions, it means that actually you are trustworthy. So you can put Healthline there for proving yourself as a trustworthy source. If you're able to classify it and cluster it with the top authority websites together, it means that actually your competitors will be really easy for you to beat. So it's the point there. If a machine learning system can actually have the data that, I was about to say the name. So basically, if a machine learning system says that X website actually is better than Healthline or WebMD for certain types of these queries without links, it means that actually we can rank it further, and we should actually be able to trust this website for e-commerce activities as well. And at the same time, you should understand why semantic SEO works better, because Google is a semantic search engine, and every vertical of search is already semantic. If you go to image search, you will see again n-grams there. If you go actually any place there, you will see that they are actually creating different types of query paths or search journeys just for the users based on the possibility of correlation of queries or search sessions. And when it comes to semantic SEO, it's not just about actually a topical map. There is way much more than that. And when I publish the course, you will see that things are harder than you think. And even if it is not harder, your competitor will make it harder. Because if competitor does these things better than you, it means that he or she is increasing the quality threshold. If your competitor increases the quality threshold, it means that actually you will be de-indexed, or let's say deserved. You will stay in the index, but you will be in the supplemental index, not in the main one. So with that said, I wouldn't tell that topical coverage is still important. I would say that it is important, but it doesn't mean that it is always better. Sometimes you will need to actually focus on deeper things. And when it comes to the page count, topical coverage doesn't mean always more pages. Sometimes, or most of the time, it actually means more information in a best possible way based on relevance attributes and also distance between concepts. And now I will use three concepts: broad appeal, categorical quality, and relative quality change. When I use these concepts, you don't understand me that much. So I will just write here three different basic things: vastness, deepness, momentum. When I say vastness, I am not sure whether it is the correct English word or not, but I see actually broadening, or really the big width, let's say. So when I say vastness, I mean that at least try to have a proper coverage for a really subtopic, a small thing with a thing that is relevant to your product, a thing that actually you can even beat the top quality websites to show your authoritativeness. And when it comes to the deepness, you need to go really, really deep, very much deeper than your competitors in these things. And when it comes to momentum, be more active, not static, than your competitors. So three principles: vastness, deepness, momentum. So if we use theoretical concepts there, vastness is broad appeal, deepness is categorical quality, and momentum is relative quality change. So according to your taste, choose one. And let's stop using the term keyword difficulty, please. I didn't use that. And while creating my semantic content network designs, while creating my topical maps, I don't use keywords at all. I focus on the topics, and I can tell that I don't care about these keyword difficulty thing. You can rank for anything without links. With that said, I also use links for my other projects as well. But because of the semantics, since it is the main thing at the moment, I don't focus on even technical SEO that much, because I can tell that technical SEO requires too much work from the developer side, and sometimes clients don't have it. So if you are able to rank them with just EAT and semantics, it means that actually it is more permanent and more effective. And at the same time, understand the supplemental indices with quality thresholds, because the supplemental indices or supplemental index represent the place that you might be located already. And search engine might assume that if I wouldn't have these top 5, I would rank these other 5. So it means that actually that other top 5 already they are already representative ones. And search engine always clusters sources, and they choose a representative one for these ones, because they assume that if I rank this source, it means that actually even if I don't rank others, still actually the user will be able to be satisfied in a reliable way. So if we gather these things together, I can tell that the article will come soon. And again, I can assume that with just 27 articles, 27 really good articles, you can take traffic even from Healthline or the top quality sources for health industry. And you can do it with, let's say, a Shopify website. You can beat any kinds of source, because Google doesn't know which website is this. They don't have relatives. They don't have a certain preference based on bias. Google just is a collection of algorithms. It's a program. If your scores are higher, you will rank. So it is open and equal for everyone. So lucky for you, the search engine started to focus on factuality, accuracy, and they're able to actually understand quality without even page rank, even if they try to balance the page rank further. So when I publish these articles, try to read these sections. I can tell that 27 pages are one of the most basic ones for me. Here I explain actually certain types of things just for understanding natural language inference, which is another topic. And here how I explain some methods for how to exceed a quality threshold. And I focus on uncertain inference to explain some sections here even further. And you will need to understand NLP and NLP related concepts to be able to understand why the search engine ranks it even further. And there are some, again, resources or some researches in this article, but I can tell it is highly simplified version of all these concepts. And before the finishing, I will announce one more thing. I will publish my Google Author Rank concepts basic version in somewhere else, and this basic version is collections of other things, and it explains many things, and it is connected to quality thresholds. For example, this one is good because Google can understand just by looking at your word sequences whether you are an expert or not. And here, for example, we try to find the owner of the 12 lost pages of American Constitution in terms of authorship. And here we understand that Alexander Hamilton is the author of these disputed web pages, disputed Constitution pages. And this is what we call recurring neural networks anyway. And actually James Madison, he was claiming that I am the author. So when I say Google Author Rank, they can understand whether actually you are the author or you are not the author. And knowledge domain expert perception is connected to these quality thresholds. Google can understand whether you are an expert or not. Your content language can reflect it in an easy way. And one more thing, that John Miller already actually liked the long version of this research and shared it, and it made me really happy. And thank you, John, for that support, even if it is a small support. Still, it means a lot to see that from Google. And I can tell that most of the industry already shares the same opinions with me, but I want to show one more thing here to show that how sometimes even the famous SEOs can be ignorant. Because in this article, I clearly stated that is Google Author Rank and Google Agent the same? I basically say no. When I say Google Author Rank, some people, I won't name that, but I will name that as ignorant, and they will recognize themselves. And they assumed that actually I am talking about Google Plus or Google Author Tag. So I didn't talk about them in the article, and they have started to comment or even try to, I don't know, maybe they try to just take the attention by just making different fallacies. So article clearly states that Google Agent is the patent behind the Google Plus and Authorship, by the way, and Author Tag. And I clearly say that no, Google Author Rank and Google Agent, they're not same, and this should be R actually. And you know my English. And at the same time here I explain we use actually this concept as a general concept, and just one day later actually Google stated that they have refreshed their author markup, and even for the co-authors they wanted to know which co-authors exist behind that specific article. So if you read this one, you can understand why the quality thresholds are important. And if you are a named entity, a person, an expert for a certain topic, if you are relevant to that topic, if there are context terms that mention you and topical entries together, if there are sources that actually mention you as an expert and also use your words as quotes, there are sources that cites you, it means that actually you will be more rankable and you will be able to exceed these thresholds easier. And search engine can clearly understand whether you are the real author or true author or not. It's not that hard. And of course, it is not something that the search engine can easily trust for one time thing. But if you do these things for a long time with a relative difference, I mean, if you do these things just 100 times in a really fast way, yes, it can be done as well. And these explanations actually come from directly Google. And let's finish this video with this funny moment of authorship and quality. Matt Cutts tell that the scraper websites, they are outranking the original source of the content in Google. Please tell about it. And the scraper websites outrank because they are more active and they scrape multiple sources to create information gap there. And at the same time, they also use many PageRank tricks there. And one person says, Dan Barker here, I think I have spotted one. And here Google scrapes Wikipedia. So this is one of the funny moments, at least for me. And I wanted to finish this video with that. I have spent like 33 minutes already. And as you know, it is not that easy for explaining these topics. I hope you'll like the article. I will put the newsletter into the description area and also the comment area. Just please check it. I hope you'll like it. And when I publish the second case study, then we will focus on launch of the course. And if you want me to mention some SEOs that lost their lives already, just give me their names. I will mention them in that case study, and I will dedicate it to all of the SEO consultants that lost their lives already. So love you all, and see you later.